What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. What's going on? How you lot doing? Welcome to the overview. Big up, Darren, coming through as usual. International break, but there's still a lot to talk about, man. We're going to be talking about, obviously, the managerial appointments. You've got Eddie Howe starting out, Steven Gerrard starting out, and as of today, Dean Smith of Norwich starting out. Ollie's still hanging on in there. I've put that there. Solskjaer ready to fight back. Solskjaer's ready to fight back. He is still Man United manager. But how you been, Darren? Enjoying the international break? What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm all right. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of international break. It's boring, isn't it? You come on now. The games that England are playing, Albania and San Marino, it's one of them. But listen, as you said there's still a lot to talk about. Managerial appointments, managerial sackings, and then straight away getting jobs. Yeah, man, there's still a lot to talk about.
Yeah, well, you say the international break's boring, you know, like it's big goal. You say, yeah, San Marino and that and Albania, but, you know, Harry Maguire, you know what I mean? His passion, you got to celebrate, you know what I mean? It's big games, bro. Big games.
You know what? I didn't listen. I didn't mind the celebration, but the only thing I didn't mind it in terms of, yeah, okay, scored the goal, brilliant, celebrate how you won. But it's the kind of excuse that he used afterwards. That's where he lost me a little bit. Like, it's quite clearly, man's cupped his ears like that because to say shut up to the critics. But I mean, the excuse that he gave in terms of celebrations and all this, it just, nah, come on.
Yeah, 100%.
Just own it.
100%. Just own it. I'm not gonna. I mean, we've covered it the last couple of days on the channel. I just wanted to kind of get your thing on it real quick, just because. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because that was the exact point that I made. I was like, just big up. If you're gonna big up your chest and do the thing, when they ask you what it's about, just say, yeah, I back myself. I've been in bad form. But, you know, that people have had a lot to say recently, but I just want to show that I believe in myself and I'm there in it. But it is what it is. He didn't do it. He backtracked, and I don't rate that.
No, me neither.
But yeah, exactly. Hold tight, Jigme. Jigme says, Flex, big up to your channel. All the best. Road to 1 million subscribers and more good vibes. Thanks. Big up. Yeah, 100%. Well, road to 100K right now, but you got to think big. Why not 1 million subscribers? Why not? Do you know what I'm saying? Why not? And Geordie Tune for Life says, we will stay up, Darren. We have a good feeling back, and the players are gaining fitness after Mr. Bruce had them training part-time, and that's a fact. And that's Geordie fan in there. So we will be talking about Newcastle. Let's I've got to keep it biased. Obviously, start with a bit of Man United. Obviously, our next game is Watford. Ollie is still here. How can Josh be ringing me?
That's got his phone on during the stream.
Like, no. Josh knows that I'm live. That, like, how can he can't, how can you ring me? You know I'm live. Like, he knows. Like, what are you doing? Right, where was I? Ollie's still there, bro. Ollie's still there. Let's start with that. Are you surprised from a pundit perspective, ex-player, football fan, all of that? I haven't really got your take on that. Are you surprised that he's still there? And how have you thought with some of the links with Rodgers, Zidane, maybe a little bit, etc., etc.?
I am surprised that he's still there, but I'm not surprised. I'm surprised in terms of Man United being a big club, way off it at the minute. Don't even look like competing for the league. I've heard some people say, I think you might have even said it yourself, how can you sign 3 world-class players in some people's eyes and go backwards? It clearly comes from the manager. Obviously, the lack of form, not getting the best out of your players. From that perspective, yeah, I'm surprised he's still there. From the owner's perspective, I can understand why, because he's kind of protecting them, right? Because usually when obviously things start to go wrong, fans start to vent at the owners in terms of, listen, change the manager, he's not good enough. But because Ollie's is a Manchester United legend, he's a nice guy, it's kind of hard to hammer him because of his kind of persona. It's one of them where it's like, okay, well, what do we do? They're not going to hammer Ollie, so we're quite happy to have him there. But I just think if you guys are serious about getting back into the bracket of Manchester City, Liverpool, certainly them two, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, how can I forget Chelsea? Then you've got to do something, because the difference between them 3 clubs and your club is them 3 have got elite managers and you guys haven't.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Yeah. And where do you stand on the Rodgers being linked with Man United, Eric Ten Hag and Zidane and Pochettino at the end of the season, just all of the different candidates?
Well, listen, I've never really been big on Pochettino anyway. I mean, a lot of people absolutely love him, but I'm always like, well, what's he got to show for it? All these accolades. I mean, the French league, Thomas Tuchel got blasted for winning the French league before he came to Chelsea, and then obviously we've seen what he can do. We've seen Pochettino go there in his first season and not win the French league. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, but listen, I like Rodgers. I think Rodgers, Zidane, obviously you can't sniff your nose at 3 Champions League. I don't care what team you've got, you still got to go out there and do it. So Rodgers, Ten Hag, Zidane, all of these, whatever guy you bring in is going to be better than Oli because they're all better managers than Oli. They can all put things together. They know how to get the best out of a team. They've all got kind of identity in the way that they play. So, listen, I really like the links. I know a lot of people are not really big on the Rodgers because, of course, you got the 2 last seasons where Leicester finished 5th when they were 4th for so long. So the Liverpool situation as well when he let it slip. But listen, he has won an FA Cup in there. He somehow, and who he beat in the final because I gave him no chance of beating Chelsea. They managed to do that. So I think Rodgers, you've got to take him seriously.
Yeah, I people know I've been kind of pushing the Brendan Rodgers thing, but I do like Ten Hag. My thing has always been just the love for Ten Hag versus the just writing off what's his face Brendan Rodgers. I just didn't quite understand. Palmeiras says Darren Brent, criminally underrated striker. Big up both of you. Big up, man. And John James, yeah, man, I don't know about underrated. I think overrated. You're overrated just because you're in the 100 club, bro. It's overrated. Do you know what I mean? John James says, big up Flex and Darren on the United View. Smash the like, people. Yeah, big up, man. A lot of love in here. A lot of love. Yeah, I just think we'll have to see what happens. How do you see the next kind of few games going for Man United? Since we're on the topic, like Watford away, then Villarreal away.
I think you'll beat Watford.
Yeah.
Quite comfortable because I think they're poor. Villarreal will be tough.
Yeah, proper tough.
Yeah, will be really tough. So again, I can see. You know what's going to happen.
And then it's Chelsea away. Come back and then it's Chelsea away.
Yeah, you'll beat Watford. You get Villarreal. Indifferent performance. Chelsea probably get beat, but Oli will still be there. And the reason is I can't think. Pochettino at the end of the season, maybe there might be a change, but quite simply now you think, well, if they do get rid of Oli, there's no plan B. So, I mean, I know Zidane's out of work, so that would probably be the obvious choice, but I just don't know. Like, I don't quite know what the owners' ambitions are in terms of getting. Are they desperate getting Manchester United back to where they should be? Because I look at someone like Roman Abramovich. He is desperate for Chelsea to win absolutely everything. And listen, I'll give you a year, 8 months. If ain't nothing look like it's popping off, get out the door.
Get out.
And get out. And that is what I respect about Roman. A lot of people don't like the way that he does it, but he's like an owner and a chairman that says, all right, I'm giving you the job. I will give you everything you want. Thomas Tuchel, you came in, you won the Champions League, you wanted a £100 million striker. All right, I'm going to give you that, but it's now up to you. I've given you everything you want. It's up to you now to deliver. And I think I respect that more than anything. I'm not quite sure what the owners at Man United, the Glazers want with Oli and the club going forward. I just don't know.
It doesn't look like you can see what's going on. It doesn't look like
it's not like a burning ambition. As I said, there's that. I have to win. Whereas I'm not sure about that with the Glazers.
Yeah, and I think you can see as well that their preference is to try and wait till the end of the season, try and just put a few fires out, and then we'll try and maybe change it then. But I think the results are going to get too bad where the hand should have been forced twice already. Yeah. Once in the Liverpool section, then he had 3 games to go again. And then in that section of games, we beat a crap Spurs side, which was so bad they even changed their manager. We drew against Atalanta when we should have lost. Just Ronaldo brilliance. And then we got battered by City in the next 3 games. So then their hand should have got forced even then. So yeah, we'll have to see. But I can't see it. And then after Chelsea is your team. It's on my birthday. It's Arsenal. So there's no hiding places. Yeah, I know you want to come to that game as well. So there's no hiding places. Before we leave, I thought it was interesting because you played under Paul Lambert, innit? At Villa.
Yeah.
Was it Villa? Yeah, someone just said there, Darren Bent should know what Ollie's doing to Donny van der Beek because it was similar to when you was under Paul Lambert. Hold tight, Roger. And that's why I love the show because we could just, get some honest, good questions out there. From that point of view, you've been there when a manager's not really, the flavour of the month, whatever. Find it hard to get in with Donny van der Beek. How are you seeing that situation? As you've been there, you've done it.
I mean, listen, my one was different because me and Lambert, it kind of changed overnight from captain to not playing at all. And I always say, listen, when Christian came in Benteke, he was flying. He had that season, he was brilliant. So if someone's form is better than your own or playing well, I've always said, fair enough. And Christian was brilliant.
I forgot, captain. I forgot,
but obviously Christian got into the team, was brilliant. But it was kind of the stuff that he was saying to me, Lambert, which is why we kind of fell out, like lies. He just wasn't the right man for that Aston Villa job at the time. But for Van der Beek, I feel for him because they've signed him. He's never really been given that chance to show people why Manchester United signed him. And what I will say again, and if Mourinho had been doing this to Van der Beek, oh my goodness, uproar. People are looking at his management skills are terrible. Ollie does it, and because he looks like a nice guy, we all kind of just go, well. And now, listen, I don't know Donny Van der Beek. Listen, I don't know nowhere near as much as you do about United. But what I see, his attitude looks spot on. I always see him on his own running after games when he's not had any kind of game time. It looks like he's putting the work in. So, as I said, hopefully he gets his opportunity because there is a good player in there. You know what I mean? You don't go to a club like Man United and have the season you had at Ajax if you're not. But for whatever reason, he just hasn't been given that opportunity to show everyone why you signed him.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. I just don't get why there's it's not like people in his position are performing better than him. That's my thing. Do you know what I mean? That's my thing. It's like if you can see that McTominay and Fred and Matic and Pogba are just absolutely killing it. It's like a well-oiled machine in there. It's like, well, I can't really say anything. But we were so bad in that area, and he still can't get a go. It's a tough one. Let's move on. Let's move on to your old club, man, Aston Villa. Let's get into it because Gerrard's gone there now. Big appointment. Obviously, massive football club, massive fan base. You know all about that. Is he going to be a success? Is that a match made in heaven right now for where they're at with that squad? Exciting players, post Jack Grealish, Steven Gerrard ready for the next level. How did you see it?
It's a really good appointment in terms of the name, stature. Obviously, listen, it's a big difference, and for me, the differences are Steven Gerrard's coming from a football club where they're expected to win every single game.
Yeah,
they've won to win the league, play exciting football, massive fan base, get into Europe. That's that Rangers Celtics expectation. He's coming to a club now which are near the bottom of the table, haven't played well, lost their best player, where the expectation is not going to be to win the league because they can't get anywhere near it. Maybe nick a cup here or there, and maybe finish inside the top 10. So the expectations are completely different. So, and also when you look at, it's different when you're coming from a club where you've got the best team and the best players in the league, to come to a club where they're all like middle of the road, some good players, but it's such a different expectation. But I think, listen, when you've got someone like Steven Gerrard, I think he'll kind of galvanise the squad in terms of what he did as a player. I think he'll command the respect. I think they respect the job that he did in Scotland. They'll kind of know that he's been there and done it. So it's not like it's a manager that's maybe not played at the level that he's at. So I think he'll command respect. But I just think that the expectation is completely different. And I mean, what is success for Villa now? If he gets him inside the top 8, considering where he's coming from, it's just completely different.
It is. I think on the pros, I think you listed a lot of the like the difficult things he's got to contend with, 100%. So my thing is, if I look at the pros, I think he's got a good enough squad there that actually, you know, we were all looking at under Dean Smith after they lost Jack Grealish and how they spent the money. You're thinking, you know what? Me personally, I think they've done a good job of sharing that money out and building a decent squad. Probably a better looking squad on paper. I know if you add Jack Grealish in, it gives the X factor, and we can see how difficult it was without him. But on paper, with the right guidance and the right time behind it, it looks like a good squad. Do you know what I mean? Danny Ings up front with Ollie Watkins, that looks good. You look at what's his name, Buendia coming in. Obviously, it hasn't really worked yet, but it looked good. You look at Leon Bailey, a couple of injuries, hasn't got going yet, but again, a lot of potential there. Tuanzebe went in there.
Buendia was the only one I thought, I wasn't sure because I didn't rate him the first time in the Premier League. Yeah, and listen, in the Championship, he's unbelievable. But how many times have we seen players absolutely run the place in the Championship, step up the Premier League, can't do it? And that's again what I'm seeing with him. But yeah, I mean, Danny Ings, what good signing that was. I thought that was a brilliant signing. I think Leon Bailey will be good. Just can't quite find his feet. But you're right. When you take a player of Jack Grealish's quality out of the squad, not only the quality, he's a captain, he's a leader, but not only that as well, when you're in a bit of trouble, you go, what do? We'll just give the ball to Jack Grealish. He can carry the ball, draw fouls, that take that kind of pressure off his team. That's one player that's not stepped up yet. Like John McGinn's done well, and I really rate him, but he's not that Jack Grealish can go from carry the ball.
They don't have another one of that. They don't
have that, and I think that's what you're finding out is the difficulty.
Yeah, I think it will be tough for Gerrard. Look, obviously with the Liverpool connection, I'll be honest. Since we've had so much crap going on with our own manager, I haven't even got into the thing of like, yeah, he's ex-Liverpool. I just want him to do bad and get sacked. Like, just be funny. Like, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of Man United fans obviously going to say that, but I think from an objective point of view or from a football fan point of view, yeah, it's a big character to have in the league. Do you know what I mean? He's got massive experience as a player, and he's starting to get experience as a manager, and it's like another step for him. He ain't going to get a Liverpool job anywhere near soon.
You know what? If I'm honest, if I'd have been him, and this is where you kind of caught, because if I was him, I'd probably, because for all the good stuff that he did up there, which was fantastic, obviously unbeaten last season, invincibles and all that.
Yeah,
he did only win one league, no domestic cups. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I know he did okay in Europe. So I probably, if being me, would have probably maybe stayed for it to the end of the season, maybe won a cup, won another league, just fill up the tin a little bit more, the trophy cabinet in terms of managerial success, and then maybe look to move. But again, I get it, because Premier League jobs are so few and far between. So
he ain't going to get a better chance.
Exactly. So difficult to get, especially a club like Aston Villa. These jobs don't come around too often. So in that respect, I do get it.
Yeah, I think ideally, the perfect picture would have been what you just said there. A couple of league titles under your belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe a couple cups, little good European Cup run, maybe go far in the Europa League or something like that. But this is Steven Gerrard. If you think of Gerrard, his burning desire to want to reach the top, you know his standards are high. They were as a player, and you know they are going to be as a manager. The club the size of Aston Villa with that squad and that opportunity this early in the season, I'm saying, I'll probably say he ain't going to get a better opportunity than that. It's not like, because no disrespect, we'll get to Dean Smith and Norwich and that, but it'd be difficult for him to come into like a Norwich and try and do something like Newcastle, distance himself straight away. Like, where else is he going to get that level of club with those players, that infrastructure, that fan base? And so it's like, he's like, I have to take this opportunity. I have to. That's why I don't believe this bullshit about Man United. Like, we can't go and get Rodgers or we can't get Ten Hag. They're at clubs. It's really difficult. If you say, here's the piece, we don't want to wait to change our manager. We want you to be the manager now. That manager needs to make a decision for his career. Right there, right now. Do I go manage Man United with Ronaldo and Bruno and Pogba?
Exactly.
Do I go and do that now? Honestly, with these people?
Unless you're a top manager, like
if you try to get Klopp or Pep, or
like that opportunity will come around again. But for someone like a Rodgers, his burning desire
go straight away.
Ever since he left Liverpool was to get back to that level. Exactly. He went to Celtic, won everything there is to win. Won that, went back to the Leicester again, was a perfect opportunity for him. A bit like the Gerrard situation.
That was perfect. Yeah, perfect.
So now for Gerrard, you're right. Like, Premier League jobs are so few and far between, and a club like Aston Villa, huge fan base, massive history. He probably thought to himself, "Listen, I love what I've done at Rangers. I would like to ideally stay longer, but this opportunity might not ever come again." So I can understand why he did it.
Yeah, this overview is a bit different, which I like, because it's been international break. It's not like we're talking about past games. We can talk a little bit about predictions for games coming up, but we can more get into the kind of news that's been happening, which is what we're doing. Gerrard's first game is against Brighton on the weekend. Is it home or away? Let me have a look. Oh, it's at home as well. So packed out Villa Park. Yeah. You know, Brighton, good team. Graham Potter doing bits over there. Predicting a win in his first game, new manager bounce?
You'd say so, yeah, but listen, he's come up against another manager who I rate really highly, and I think
he could have got a Villa job himself.
Not so much that. I think he'd do a good job at your place as well, Graham Potter.
You think?
Because, do you know what? And I get it, there's levels. And when I say levels, in terms of size of club, now going from Brighton to Man United, that is a lot of steps jumped, do you know what I mean, to get there. But listen, I think he's been very good Potter, tactically very, very good. And I think Steven Gerrard, when he plays this game against Brighton, he will definitely come up against someone who will be like a welcome to the Premier League in terms of how people play, because
100%.
He's a proper manager with a proper football team. So, a difficult start for Steven Gerrard, but if the fans can get behind him, that whole end, there's no reason why they can't win that game.
Yeah, I think also as well, it's like you've got to look at it two ways. You've got to look at it like, sometimes you don't judge a manager in their first few games because it's that new manager bounce. The energy's there. Villa Park players are running around trying to impress the manager. It's crazy. But also, if you haven't shown anything instantly within the sort of first few games, it's like, what's the difference? So it's like a fine margin in it between not getting too carried away with what you see versus you need to see something.
We'd have to say as well, they're probably, I mean, where Brighton are in the league as well, listen, they've done relatively well. I think they're currently at the minute, they're 7th, which is, I think, an outstanding start for them. But when you look at certainly their last like 6-7 results, haven't won a game.
No, they're struggling. Yeah, a lot of draws. Yeah.
A lot of draws, a couple of defeats in there.
Yeah, last 5, it's 4 draws and 1 win. Sorry, 4 draws and 1 loss in the last 5 games.
Exactly. So they're not on any great form. So
and they're on the same points as Man United.
Exactly. So that tells you we need to know. So I think Steven Gerrard will look at that and go, okay, we can get something from that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. It's only natural to go to Dean Smith. You know, straight out of the job at Villa, straight into the job at Norwich. I mean, everybody said Norwich are as good as down. Just obviously under Farco and just the players that they got, etc., etc. Will it change now? Dean Smith's there. Would he maybe change some things in January? Do you think he could change the fortunes around? If you look at the table, they are obviously rock bottom with 5 points, but they're 5 points behind Watford. If Norwich could nick a win the next game, they'll be 2 points off. You never know.
I think they're down, but as you said, they're not cut adrift. But I think you bring in someone like a Dean Smith over a Frank Lampard, by the way, because you've got to look at the whole big picture. Now, where they are in the league, no one has ever survived and have had so few points after so many games. So you'd have to say, definitely, they brought Dean Smith in case the worst comes to the worst. Now, listen, he's got a fantastic chance of definitely keeping them up. But if he doesn't, I think he's the perfect man to bring them back. And I think they've looked at that picture and gone, you know what? Frank Lampard did a good job at Chelsea, decent job at Derby, but ultimately, it's a little bit different when you're managing Chelsea with them players. But when he had the players at Derby, he couldn't get them out of the Championship. But Dean Smith's done that. He did it with Aston Villa. So I think they'll be looking at, well, okay, if the worst comes to the worst, we've got a manager that potentially could do both. And that's why they've supported. That's why they've gone for Dean Smith. And I think it's the perfect appointment.
Yeah, I think it is for them. Your Wi-Fi went a little bit mad there. He's doing the Roblox thing again, but you're back in. It's not mine, bro. It's not mine. I got the proper thing. I don't have dial-up, bro. I got the proper thing. I think it works. It works. It does look like I think Lampard going into that job would be tough. I think it would be extremely tough. I think he's got more experience, Dean Smith, at a high level, obviously. And I just think that they've got a better chance with him than someone like Lampard coming in cold. You know what I mean? It's a really difficult job. He's got to get acquainted. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll have to see how that runs out. But I just think it's important to see what it is that these teams are saying enough's enough. You know what I mean? And I know I keep linking it back to Man United. That's 3 teams there, and we'll talk about Eddie Howe in a minute. That's 3 teams there, and then you add Spurs into it, 4 that have gone. Nah, sorry, mate.
There's more than that.
Got to be ruthless here.
More than that. You go first of all Watford. They did it with their manager.
I forgot about Watford. Yes, 5.
Watford. Then you go, I said Spurs, Villa, Norwich.
Newcastle was a one that was going to happen. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a mad one. Absolute mad.
Yeah. We've got about 600 people watching, man, which is sick, but we've only got 100 likes on the video, man. You lot know what to do. You know what I mean? Smash a like on the video. Don't forget as you come through, man. Show some love. Let's go to Newcastle. Eddie Howe. Decent. I like Eddie Howe. I do like him. I think he's done well at Bournemouth. Shoestring budget, small little tight stadium. Done well to keep them up a few seasons. Then the inevitable did happen. But I don't know. I felt like this one was a bit off for me. I thought maybe because I saw them go for Unai Emery and it didn't work, because I thought Emery would have been perfect. That's like Newcastle saying, yeah, like, all right, cool, go and get Emery. I get it. And then people will say, no, Flex is perfect for Newcastle. It's baby steps. It's and they think he can do a really good job. I worry for Eddie Howe in that job. I don't know how do you feel? It feels a bit off to me.
No, do you know what? See, Unai Emery would have felt off to me because
it's too much.
Yeah, because that's too much. From where this guy's used to winning European Cups in terms of the Europa League. He's won it 4 or 5 times. So that to me was just a bit off. Eddie Howe for me I think is a perfect appointment in terms of when he took over at Bournemouth. They would lead to if they lost or gone down, it would have been an end of Bournemouth. The fact he managed to not only did he rebuild, he managed to take them all the way to the Premier League. Bournemouth Football Club, he took to the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? And I know people question a few of his signings in terms of the Solanke one.
Yeah, he wasted some big money. Jordan Ibe didn't work out.
But if you start looking at where these players are now, so Jordan Ibe, I know he's had a tough time with mental health and stuff, which you obviously never scoff at. So that you got to take that seriously. But if you look at Solanke now, he's banging goals in the Championship, and that's why Bournemouth are top. He also signed Philip Billing. Look how he's developed at the minute. Jefferson Lerma, he's not a bad player. He has signed.
But I think it's because they're Championship level, though.
Maybe potentially, but I just think Eddie Howe, in terms of where Newcastle are right now at the bottom of the Premier League, because there's no guarantee. I still think Newcastle are one of the favourites to go down. I don't care how much money they got. They are
even still now.
Even still now, with the money that
with
they've
Eddie
got.
Howe,
But I think with Eddie, he'll go in there, he'll put a structure together. He knows one or two of the players. I think he'll put them in a system where this is where I'm a bit reserved about Eddie's. That I love the football that they play. I really like the football. But if you look at his stats over the time he was at Bournemouth, they score a lot of goals, but concede an awful lot because they're so open.
Yeah.
I don't think he can do that with Newcastle, because if he goes in there and then he plays this expansive football and they're all open, they'll get absolutely battered. But then he can't then go and play counter-attacking football because they didn't want to see that under Bruce.
No, they don't want to see
he's a little bit stuck.
Yeah, I think maybe I've got to take the hit on this. I'm definitely outvoted. A lot of people are back in the Eddie Howe situation. Perkins, big up Perkins. Perkins says 2 years ago I wanted Eddie at United. I've never been in that camp, but fair enough. Good fit for Newcastle. Good fit for Newcastle. Potter in. And Adi Turman says Howe at Newcastle is better than Emery. The expectations would be sky high with Emery. This way, they can build slowly. Okay, fair play. I'm starting to come around to that idea that maybe he will do right, and I'm open to seeing that. I don't know. It just felt like, I don't know. Maybe I'm, because I can't say that Newcastle's too big for him, because obviously look where they are in the league. But that's why I feel like. But then maybe that is Eddie Howe's kind of, he was trying to keep Bournemouth in and around it. It's that to be fair, that's where he's operated at. So he's got a bigger fan base, bigger club, and all this investment as well. So maybe I'm being a bit too harsh.
The interesting thing will be is that if he does keep him in the league, they sign a couple of players in January, and then say they finished, I don't know, even if as long as they stay in the league this year, and when they get the investment in January, come into the season, they're like, right, what do we do going forward now? That's going to be the interesting time. Do they then stick with Eddie Howe again and go, right, here's 250 million, go and buy? Or I think what they're going to do is they're going to get a sporting director who will pick the players.
Yeah.
And because Eddie Howe at Bournemouth, he was in charge of absolutely everything in terms of the players they brought in. Yeah. He handpicked everything. I think in this situation, in this scenario, when you're dealing with that much money, I think they should get like maybe a is it Michael MLM? I can't remember his name is, the guy from Chelsea, sporting director.
Yeah, the director guy. Yeah.
Yeah, get him in.
Yeah.
He
to kind of oversee things and yeah.
Yeah, and then Eddie Howe just coaches the players.
Yeah, and see it that way. We've got a Geordie fan in here, so since we're on this is an open forum. This Geordie fan, Geordie Toon for Life, says, Darren, you're talking rubbish. Come back in the new year and we'll see. Apology, I will accept. I think you must mean about you saying about the type of football, maybe like he's struggling. He didn't want it under Bruce. I think that's what Geordie means.
It's more the fact that I said that they're still relegation candidates. And I
still and that.
Yeah.
Geordie Toon for Life, not happy with Darren. We stick with how Emanalo signing this week as well. So yeah, Geordie Toon for Life. Good to have a Geordie fan in here, actually. I think I'm going to get Matty from the Magpie channel as well on, because I want to see kind of what's going on over there and how they feel. Big up to Tariq. Tariq says, big up my guy Flex, first time catching it live. Welcome, bro. Flex a real G, most humble. Big up yourself, man. Over 700 people watching now. It's going up by the minute as well, which is sick. You lot smash a like on the video and let's get into it. Do I think Newcastle will go down? I'm going to say no, because my boy Jamal's there. I want him to do well. And I actually think, I think now, obviously, Bruce has gone up. Bruce wanted to go with the experience, Matt Ritchie and stuff like that. He's not even a left back over Jamal. And he's found it tough. So I think now with a manager like Eddie Howe could actually be perfect for Jamal. I think he might get some games and maybe switch it around. I'd like to see that. He's playing tonight actually for Northern Ireland against the world champions in Italy. Actually, I want to watch that. So yeah, so I'm going to say they won't go down for Jamal's sake, but I do fear it is that they're in amongst it. They're in amongst it. Arsenal versus Liverpool. You're on a great run. Unbeaten in 10. Darren's gone from Arteta out.
Yeah.
to Arteta's not the right man. I'm not really sure about this Flex. to top 4. You know what I mean? To top 4 chasing. But this is a big test. You had a big test against Leicester. I would definitely say that. It was like, you've been playing all right. Let's see what it's like going away to Leicester. You dealt with them comfortably. Different challenge in Watford, but you managed to get a little bit of luck from Kevin Friend and VAR and that, but you did it. But this is a big, I think what I will say on this, because I know you're going to obviously enjoy it, but what I will say is, to be fair, I think it's important to say that if you lose against Liverpool, there's no shame in that if you do lose. And I think that he's done enough within the last 10 games that even if you do lose and it's a bit of a car crash, it shouldn't be like a reactionary, this is why Arteta's not good enough. But I actually think in this game, I think there could be a surprise. I think there could be a surprise. I just feel, and I can't believe I'm saying this about Arsenal. But I just feel like maybe they can get a result. And if they do lose, I think it'll be close. I don't think they'll just get battered like in old times and be easy to play through and get absolutely torn apart. I can't see it. We've got a Liverpool 6, Arsenal 0 here. But I don't know. How do you feel going into it?
So I consider it being a draw. But do you know what? I think it could be a draw. But listen, if Liverpool are the favourites, of course.
Yeah.
Although their last result wasn't great against West Ham.
No, and then Brighton at home before that as well.
Yeah, so I think Arsenal, even if Liverpool win, and listen, as you said, there's no shame, disrespect to losing.
Yeah, there's a high chance they're going to win. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know firsthand in terms of when Liverpool get it right, what they can do to somebody. But I don't think Arteta will let that happen. I think if we get beat, we'll get beat. But I don't think it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7. If we get beat, it'll keep it tight. It might not be pretty to watch, but ultimately we won't get battered. But I do think Arsenal can get a lot of confidence from this game. It is a test. But as you said, there is no shame to losing to Liverpool. Like, no shame whatsoever. As long as they go there, have a go. We've got some players in great form. The likes of Saka, Smith Rowe, obviously getting his first England call-up, Aubameyang, Lacazette. I think Arteta might have found something in terms of Lacazette and Aubameyang playing a 2.
Yes,
that looks like it's working. So yes, listen, this is a test to see exactly, can we mix it now? Like we've obviously beat Leicester, which is that kind of next tier where we're trying to get back into. But it's now, can we mix it with the top boys up the top end of the table? We've already been beaten by, obviously, of course, a couple of the big heads at the start of the season when we weren't in any great form. But this is a real test, and I am positive for Arsenal that we can go there and get something.
Yeah, I think that what he has done is given you a lot of belief in terms of going there. You know, it's a daunting place to go. But if you look at how teams have been playing against Liverpool, teams that are organised and actually doing what they're supposed to do, not us. You look at how West Ham's game plan did it to a T. Yeah, you can say they had 30% of the ball. That's shocking, but look what they did. They hurt Liverpool consistently on the counter-attack. You look at Brighton, arguably could have won that game. Really good performance.
Well, second half, Brighton just went, you know what? Okay, let's
go.
Yeah.
They played ball. They played ball.
Yeah.
And I think, was it Trossard who had another chance to score? They could have won it. They could have won it. Was it disallowed, isn't it? I think.
Disallowed offside.
Yeah, disallowed offside. So they had mad chances to they were playing on the front foot and not showing any fear. And that's, sometimes I think some teams can sit back too much against the best teams and really get their asses handed to them by not showing any intent at all. You can still sit off, but still be aggressive in your shape. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's going to be the best way to be.
But you know what? You're best off going there and trying, and I get it. 9 times out of 10, you'll get beat anyway. So what is the point in going somewhere and just trying to hope to nick a result? Because the top teams will find a way to beat you anyway. So you might as well go there, like Brighton did, and go, you know what? We've got nothing to lose. Let's go and play our own brand of football and see where that gets us. And look what, it got them a point. Do you know what I mean? So I think if Arsenal go there the same way and go, yeah, listen, ultimately Liverpool have got better players than we've got. But if we go there and play our football and cause them problems, who knows what can happen?
Yeah, and I think a real interesting point here is what Archie says. What's mad is if Arsenal win, they go above Liverpool. Let's not get it twisted like Arsenal. And this is what I mean about you got to rate what Arteta's doing. You absolutely deserve to be there. The table doesn't lie. You're in good form. Liverpool are a little bit up and down at the moment. Sometimes they can look brilliant. In their last 5 games, they've got 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. That tells you where Liverpool are at.
As you know.
As I know. Just carry on, bro. Carry on, innit? Because when it all comes crumbling down, I'll be there. But Arsenal in the last 5 games, 1 3, drawn 2. So better form than Liverpool. And yeah, you're only 2 points behind them and a place below them. You're in 5th, they're in 4th. So like Archie says, if you do win, you go above them. Like, or if you nick a draw, you're in and around it. It's fine. So I think it'll be a really interesting game. I'm looking forward to seeing that game.
Me too.
I would say hopefully you get battered, but I'm not even really. Hopefully it's a draw, because at the end of the day, man, we're trying to catch both of you. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully it's a draw, and then we get the business done against Watford. To be honest, because we just got to take care of our own shit. Listen, Darren. Listen. Yeah. Look, I don't know if you Watford fans, they're saying, look, I can't see us getting anything out of the game. Then they're really poor at the moment, but. Man United's Man United, mate. And at the moment, if Watford just sit in, play a 4-1-4-1 like they played against Arsenal, or 4-5-1, whatever you want to call it, try and camp in, we might struggle. I don't know. They might nick a draw. It might be a 0-0. I don't know. I just don't know. Yes, Ronaldo, we should have enough to beat.
Ronaldo 3.
You're saying Ronaldo hat trick. I'm just not in a place of comfort, Darren. I just have to realize where we're at. Do you know what I mean? But we should beat Watford, but I just don't.
You know what? Let me quickly look at the Premier League table. Let me keep scrolling. Hold on. Hold on. Where United? Hold on.
It depends what you're looking at, mate. Mate, it depends what you're looking at. Mate, look at it on the laptop, not your phone, yeah? And then you can see down to 15. Yeah, bigger screen. Yeah? 15-inch MacBook Pro, yeah? That's what I'm looking on, yeah? So I can see the whole thing down to 15th, yeah? So don't start none of that shit, yeah? It's mad. Absolutely. We're getting trolled by Arsenal. Oh my god. Another tasty game, man. Leicester-Chelsea. I like this game. All the Brendan Rodgers talk. He's got a tough game. He's in a little bit of a tough moment right now, because Leicester are just up and down. 1-1 draw against Leeds last time out. Could have won the game. How do you see that?
Chelsea, man. Chelsea. I mean, I know they got that result against Burnley, and that kind of killed them a little bit because they battered Burnley. But it's like 1-0. You don't take your chances, and this is why you paid a big money for the likes of Lukaku, who's obviously injured. No Werner, but you'd expect them to have beaten Burnley. But when you just keep missing chance after chance, and you give them that opportunity, eventually they'll take it. It's Premier League football. But before that, they've won like 6 or 7 in a row. Chelsea, in all competition. So I still think Chelsea will win this. Leicester will give it a good go, of course, but under Brendan Rodgers, play on the front foot, high energy. But Thomas Tuchel, man, he's like a genius in terms of the way he can just maneuver players into certain. I mean, what he's done for the likes of Loftus-Cheek and Ross Barkley, I thought them two guys would finish the Chelsea.
Done. Yeah,
I thought they were done. Like Loftus-Cheek last season at Fulham couldn't play a minute, couldn't play any minutes. Barkley at Villa wasn't great. He kind of somehow found a way to integrate them back into the squad, and Loftus-Cheek looks like a new man again. It looks like he's one of their main men. So listen, I like Thomas Tuchel. I think he's one of the best in the world, and I think Chelsea will win this.
Yeah, it's I worry for Leicester, and then what will happen is the more that maybe Leicester don't do well, it's this is why Rodgers ain't good enough for Man United. So I kind of secretly want Leicester to just kind of. Do you know what I mean? Start being Leicester again under Rodgers. It just validates that. But I know it's nothing to do with that. Whether they sack him and get him or not, they'll do it regardless. But it is. Yeah, I do see Chelsea coming out victorious. They're just so. When I watch Chelsea, they're just so meticulous with what they do. They're so deliberate in their patterns of play and how they play. And like you said, Tuchel's the master of that. I mean, Reece James right now is in such good form. He's just. I just think he's the.
Who's better, him or Trent right now? Who do you think?
For me, in my team, I'd rather have Reece James, and I know that's crazy. Yeah, to some people might agree. I just think he's a better. I just think he's a better balanced player. Like for me, I think if you've got your gauge here, and say that's attacking, Trent is obviously attacking. But if you've got Reece James, he's just bang in the middle. He's just bang in the middle and I think the better he gets, the better he will equally get at each one. So as his attacking gets better, I think his defensive capabilities go up accordingly. Whereas I think Trent, I think a lot of it is down to the system he plays in and the manager that he has. Trent plays in a system that can facilitate him being almost like a winger, midfielder, whenever. You know what I mean? He almost like a free reign. And sometimes he gets caught out of position and players don't cover him. He has the perfect setup under Klopp to play like that. If Trent was in a different side, if Trent had to play at Chelsea in that back five, how they play, I don't think it transpires with what we see with Trent at Liverpool. Systems and like they say with the boxers, innit? Styles make fights. But
Yeah.
What I will say about Trent is, though, no, you can't talk to him attacking wise, and just well, just it just
You say that.
he's unreal. No, his delivery and his free kicks and his
I get
he's
that.
unreal. He's unreal.
I get that. But did you see Reece James's 2 finishes against Newcastle? They are not
Unbelievable.
right
Clean strikes. Yeah, clean.
So
Clean.
I don't think there's a big gap.
And he's got a great delivery as well.
Exactly. So I don't think there's a massive gap. People will talk about Trent's delivery, but Reece James's his delivery is right up there as well.
Yeah, that's true, and that's why that's why I would lean more towards Reece James. I just think he's a better balanced player. I wouldn't think with Trent. I'd think twice about a system so that maybe I don't want him to get exposed, because in one-on-one situations and just when players running off him, he's not the best. And I'm not saying Reece James is perfect, but with Reece James, I'm like, I don't think I need to worry about that. I think I can just Reece James is all right. I'll just leave him. Yeah. And Tuchel's probably the best person to have for him as well. I just think he's excelling so good. And I look at Wan-Bissaka, and I just think how far off he is. Those types of players like Cancelo, Walker, Trent, James. You know, Wan-Bissaka is so good in one-on-one situations. Like, you got the ball, try and get past me with the ball. I won't let you. I'll slide. Like, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But other than that, I think other than that, he's got so much more to work on, which I'm not ever sure.
Even positionally as well.
It's not there. It's not there. Do you know what I mean? So I do worry. I think we've had this narrative at United that it's because there wasn't a proper right winger and this, that, and the other is too much. Look, there's no excuses. Like, you're at Man United, you're supposed to be able to have the ball at your feet and make things happen. I'm seeing all the other teams do it. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't. Trippier to me right now. Trippier over Wan-Bissaka would have been better balanced, 100%.
Yeah.
Right now, Trippier is better than him for me.
Yeah.
By easy decision by a mile. I think the Trippier boats. I think Trips is kind of. I don't think that's going to happen now. But for me, definitely, I'd have him over Wan-Bissaka. Some people may laugh and say, "What are you talking about?" But I think if you look at the actual football and how the players play individually, and the attributes they have, he's a better balance. He's a better balanced right back than Wan-Bissaka. But you know, I support Wan-Bissaka. I want him to keep getting better. I just in comparison to the level, because that's all we can do. Look at the comparison of the level that's out there, because that's where we want to be. I think we're going to be short of it, man. I really do. What other games have we got coming up? Let's go. We've got it's another. Let's go. Man City, Everton, tasty tie. Everton winner. Just
one winner.
Yeah. Well, we said that. Remember, you would have said that about Palace going there.
Yeah, no, but Palace under Vieira are different. Like they should have way more.
They're above Everton now.
Exactly, they should have way more points on the board than they've had. The way that they're playing under Vieira. But Man City, I know when Man City get that right, and certainly the form that Everton's in at the minute.
Yeah, no wins in 5.
I toy with them.
Shit, Everton are struggling, just really deep.
Struggling.
Like, man. Last game was a draw, and before that, but they lost 3 on the bounce, and then they got a draw before that. Like, they are struggling. And I think, do you reckon? So okay, let's paint this picture. Sorry, Everton fans, if you're watching. Let's say they get what the majority think will happen, and they get a beating off Man City or lose. That'll be no wins in 6. What we talking about? Is it pressure on Benitez, chopping block?
Well, I think, listen, as I said it before, when he got the job, his kind of shelf life was a lot shorter than everybody else's because of where he come from, the connections to Liverpool. I think if they keep going about it, I don't think he's under any immediate pressure yet, because what did he spend in the summer? 1.7 million. That was it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that was the really, really good signing. But I think maybe they'll go again in January. They might back him in January, give him a little bit more to go and spend. I mean, the recruitment, Rondon, not great. So I think January, they'll back him till January, give him a little bit of money. But I think come after January, if he's still not getting results, then I think they might have to move on, because the fans, it won't be so much the board, it'll be the fans that be like, get him out of our club. Because listen, their patience,
100%.
Their patience is wearing thin already. So I think if he continues with the bad results, I think they'll force him out.
Yeah. No, I agree that, like you said, there's not a lot to go off there. It's like he started off really well, which kind of calmed everything down, because it's almost like, not that the Everton fans, obviously they want to get behind Rafa and they want their team to do well, but like you said, that level of patience isn't going to be there if it goes really wrong really quickly. And if it starts slipping after January, yeah, I think you're right, because they're already not endeared to him. Do you know what I mean?
No,
They're already
exactly.
that endearment's not there. Over 800 people watching, on our way to 900, which is sick. Still creeping up, still creeping up. Smash a like on the video, you peeps, man. Still only got about 260 odd likes. We should be like for like, man. Let's try and get it up. Let's try and get it up. Let's go. Tottenham, we're gonna look for their first win under Conte. 0-0 against Everton last week. I would say they probably shaded it against Everton, to be fair.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I know they didn't have a shot on target. They hit the post. Emerson Royale had a header, probably should have done better. Showed it Reguilon, cross from Harry Kane straight over the bar, should have done better, should have scored. I think there was enough in there to say, okay, they build again next week under Conte, but there was also a lot there to remind people that, no disrespect, it's still Tottenham, still got some bang average players there. Conte can't turn water into wine. But do you reckon against Leeds at home they get the first win?
Yeah, I'd expect them to, just because that Leeds are so open in terms of the way that they play, that you think if ever there was a Conte side that you'd want to, like a team you'd want to play against, if you're Antonio Conte, it'd probably be Leeds, because of just how open they are. So I think I'd expect Spurs to get this win. Do you know what I mean? I know the fans are probably pushing for it, wanting something to happen right now. Obviously, a couple of results, but no, I genuinely think that they'll get the result against Leeds. I think Harry Kane maybe potentially getting that hat-trick against Albania, and you'd expect him to maybe, if he starts against San Marino, get a couple more goals, if not another hat-trick. So he began back to the kind of club form. I know it's only San Marino and Albania, but the ball's in the back of the net. So he began there with a lot of confidence. But yeah, I like watching Leeds, but I just think at times they're a little bit too open. I think down to a place like Spurs, you've got Son, Moura, Kane. These guys can exploit them type of spaces. So I'd expect Spurs to win that one.
Yeah, I think so. I think Leeds. I mean, Bielsa's just been a weird one this year, because it's like they've been sussed out with the way they play. He doesn't really have a plan B or alternative way of playing. It's all or nothing. It's high energy. It's running after people, but like you said, leaving loads of space in behind. And I worried for him at one stage that they were going to start being one of the favourites to go down. But they're still not in great form at all. Very patchy in the last 5 games, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. So really up and down. They've got no form of consistency at the moment, and sitting 15th.
Looking in there, they've not strong. I mean, they didn't have a really good preseason, did they? I mean, they lost pretty much all their preseason games. Yeah. When you look about consistency, they've gone into the season getting beat, and they've not strung 2 consecutive wins together, or even 2 draws consecutively together. I mean, in terms of all competitions, so the consistency is just like that.
Yeah, they're struggling. They are struggling, and if that carries on like that, you never know what could happen to Bielsa as well. He could start, because he's a manager as well that would say, "Oh, f this." But
he's also manager in demand as well. He's also manager in demand.
Yeah,
where if he becomes available, someone will take him.
Yeah. Maybe go back to Italy or something, or go and do something on the continent somewhere. Easy in Europe. Easy. Yeah, 100%. But I see Spurs. Taking that. I think Harry Kane, good hat trick against Albania. Didn't see him doing the silence of career. His man scored a hat trick, and everyone's been on. I mean, everyone's been on Harry Kane's neck with, Spurs are crap because he don't want to be there. If anyone's got a reason to say, you lot shush, I'm still this, it's him. Yeah, that's got a hat trick, and even he was like, yeah, man, just give me the match ball. I'll go home. It's cool, it's Albania. Like, let me just. Ryan G, big up Ryan G, says big up Flex for Darren Bent. Been hearing him on Talk Sport. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know, Darren talks a lot of rubbish on there sometimes, man. I don't know, man. You got to watch him on there. No, but big up. He's doing all right. He's doing all right. The next game I wanted to talk about as well is who've Palace got? Because I think Palace have been doing quite well. Burnley Palace.
Ooh,
at Burnley.
I think Palace will get that, but get a result there. I really do.
Yeah.
Burnley,
confident now, isn't it?
Chelsea got a point. Do you know what I mean? Probably didn't deserve it, but they got it in the end. But Palace, obviously, the result of the weekend, beating City. I mean, what a result that was. High flying Conor Gallagher getting his first England call up, which is deserved. Odson Edouard, Benteke scoring for Belgium as well. Got Zaha, Eze, I think might be back as well. Listen, they've got some good players. Elise, I like what Vieira's doing down there.
And they've done Wolves over nicely as well.
Yeah, so I genuinely think that they're they're the team, man. They are the team that will.
Yeah.
I think they'll beat Burnley quite comfortably.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. I think. Yeah. I think they'll. I think they'll win as well. I think Zaha's done really well. He's starting to click into form. Conor Gallagher, obviously, little England call up as well, just to kind of give him a little bit of a confidence boost. You know, so I think it's going in the right direction for them. And at the beginning, you worried, but it's like, Vieira, like you're doing well, but you're just not getting what you deserve in terms of the results. And those have clicked into gear now, and he looks comfortable. Gentleman's Lab says, Flex, your Wi-Fi is bang average. I don't know. What do you mean? It's Darren's, man. It's
I told you it was you. I told you it was you.
And you know what? No, do you know what? I'm ringing up my provider here because you know they're sneaky. They're sneaky. You know, when you I paid for the upgrades. Yeah. So when you go hardwired, it's like 120 download, 120 upload. So I'm like, yeah, cool. But even if I take it off hardwired, if I'm paying for that, I should still get maybe half that Wi-Fi. But the problem is you just get this fluctuation. No, I'm not having it, man. I'm ringing them straight after this. They're taking a piss.
Yeah. So my hardwire's into the station, into the PlayStation.
In the PlayStation. My hardwire. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get two. I'm gonna run a cable from that today. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Ben, do you think Ronaldo will go end of the season? Also, as an Arsenal fan, what manager would you take over Arteta? So do you think, mate? Yeah, do you think Ronaldo will leave Man United at the end of the season?
It'd be interesting to see if you just say you guys finish in the Europa. He don't play in no Europa.
He's probably got a clause in the contract.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a discussion in itself. I'd like to see him stay, like maybe finish his career at United, man. It feels. I know, obviously, you got Sporting Lisbon. I understand that. And if he was to leave United, that's the only place I want to see him go, back to Sporting Lisbon, because that would be a nice finish to it. Man United, Sporting Lisbon. I wouldn't want to go and see him go elsewhere again, and I don't want to see all that. In terms of Arteta, I quite like Arteta. And listen, unless we're gonna get someone like a Klopp, Guardiola, Conte, Tuchel, then no, I'm relatively happy with where Arteta is at the minute. I like what he's doing down there, so yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So you look at that. Listen to these Arsenal. You know, no, we don't even not looking at anyone else now. Now we're good. Yeah, I'm relatively happy now. Yeah, everything's fine. Get out of here, man. Do you know what I mean? Adita says, Flex, all these people saying your internet is average are waffling. I've been seeing you HD all this time. Well, there you go. Maybe it's you lot at home then. You need to go hardwired. Do you know what I mean? Flex is tapping up Tesco Wi-Fi, I think. Shorty Toon profile says Flex has frozen 5 times. Liverpool springs to mind.
I told you it was you.
Bro, no, you've been doing Roblox, for a while, bro.
I've seen one message. I've not seen one message.
Nah, yours was doing a madness. Nah, yours was doing it. I saw it. I did see it. You've been doing it as well for a while. You're just lucky today. John says, Flex, any news about managerial situation at Man United? John, you know me by now, man. I am not an in the know. I am not, speak to loads of players, agents, and things like that. So I have no idea. I know what you guys know, and that is that Ollie is still the manager, and it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. I have to be honest, man. Big up John for asking. I wish I could tell you something more. I would share it with all of you guys if I did know something, but I just don't have access to that. I'm just a fan. And lastly, really quickly, give me a prediction, Darren, for hold on, no, I skipped too far. Brentford, Newcastle. Eddie Howe's first game at Newcastle.
Draw.
Oh, okay. Brentford starting to struggle now as well.
Yeah, they are.
After the initial bounce, mate. Lost their last 4 games.
Yeah, I like what they were doing, Brentford. But as you said there, not got off to the best of, going for a bit of a rocky patch at the minute. I mean, the result against Norwich was a big one. That was a real eye-opener for me. At home to Norwich, the worst team in the league. Let them win. I was like, ooh, okay. I mean, Ivan Toney, I'm a big fan of his. Started the season really well. To be fair, in terms of, that made me laugh at. Internet buffer score.
Having said that, you were just buffering, bro. I just seen it. I can record the video. You just froze. Hold on, I've actually rewound the video so I can see you freeze.
No,
I'm sure you freeze.
I think it'll be a draw. I didn't freeze. I think it'll be a draw. I worry about Brentford getting beat by Norwich, Newcastle, Eddie Howe, new manager bounce. Although it didn't work for them when they had the new owner bounce against Tottenham, but I think this will be a draw. Yeah.
Okay. And the other one was Norwich against Southampton. Can Norwich, get another win?
Southampton.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah. I like Ralph Hasenhüttl and 2 back-to-back wins. Playing really well. We spoke to Theo Walcott yesterday. he was kind of upbeat, confident in terms of where they were going under Ralph Hasenhüttl. So I'd expect Southampton to win that.
Okay, as he says, if Ollie was at Chelsea, he would have been gone, 100%.
Of course.
Yeah, 100%. There, I agree with that. Listen, bro, thanks for coming through. Always a pleasure.
No worries, man.
You know what I mean? I'm sure. Can you do me a favor, bro? Can you do me a favor? Because Darren does this thing, yeah. He knows after the game I'm going to be interviewing fans, a lot of work to do, and he's FaceTiming me, he's messaging me. If something happens against Watford, bad, can you just message me the next day or something?
No, I'll FaceTime you as soon as I find a whistle. As soon as I find a whistle, because I FaceTime you.
Why do you do that though? But I'm just not going to answer. I'm going to stop answering. I think the real question is, why do I answer?
I know, yeah, you always answer as well.
I ain't doing it because if something happens against Watford, yeah, and we don't win, I'm not going to be in the home. It's at Watford.
Oh, nah, you'll win that. I've got no doubts whatsoever. You guys will win that. They're terrible.
They're not good right now. They're not good right now, but stranger things have happened.
No, you got match winners, man. You got pure match
winners. It'll be typical Man United. It'll be typical Man United. Rock up there, you know what I mean? Little 1-1, 0-0, something crazy. It'll be typical Man United. Gentleman's Lab says internet VAR needs to be involved. Flex is begging. Listen, Gentleman's Lab, yeah. Gentlemen's, I'm just telling you what it is. If you would have seen all the other shows that this guy's been on, yeah, it's been lagging out in it. So allow it, Gentleman's Lab.
No, that's right.
Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Now, thanks everyone for watching, man. I didn't. Yeah. Quickly, Flex. Did you talk about West Ham Wolves? I didn't. Really, really quickly, Dan.
West Ham Wolves. Listen, this one's a draw. No, draw. Both teams in good form. Yeah, I like what West Ham are doing, but I love under Bruno Lage this Wolves team. Obviously, the fact.
But they're up and down at the moment, though. Wolves.
Yeah, but I don't know with Hwang and Jimenez and Trincao. They got good players, man. They got some good players. In there. So I think it'll be a draw.
So you're draw. Okay, and West Ham obviously flying after that win against Liverpool, but definitely they'll believe they can go there and win. But yeah, it's always tough going to Molineux. But they've been up and down. I mean, Brentford beat them there as well early in the season. They still. But again, I think if Wolves click into gear, then we shall see. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. If you guys are new, make sure you guys subscribe in the bottom hand corner. We are on our way to 100,000 subscribers, which doesn't even. That just sounds crazy that I'm even saying that. I can't even believe it. So road to 100K is on. So make sure you guys share the word and smash the like on the video. Darren, I'll see you when I see you, mate.
See Sunday. Is it Saturday or Sunday?
No, because if we win, you ain't going to say nothing. You ain't going to message me. Exactly. So, and if you get hiding off Liverpool, you know what I mean? Although I know it happens. But, you know, just have your phone on. Have your phone on. That's all I ask is for consistent energy. That's all I ask for.
All right. That's fine. Fair enough.
Yeah? Just keep it consistent. Anyway, guys, we're out of here. Peace.